All right. Good evening. We are live. I've got a really interesting show for you this evening. Perfect for the midnight hour. You guys know that I dig books. Love to read them. Love to share them. Actually, downloaded dozens of important books that are now free for everybody to use. We're going to make it, right? So, anyhow, this book is called An Underground Education. It's by Richard Zacks. And what it says is the unauthorized and outrageous supplement to everything you thought you knew about art, sex, business, crime, science, medicine, and other fields of human knowledge. This book was copyrighted in 1997, so it's pretty current. Okay, so we're going to talk about Ponzi schemes tonight. The big money scams, and we're going to relate it to what is going on current time on YouTube. That's entertainment. And, I'm going to be nice. I'm going to bring you the audio of our example tonight, but I'm not going to put her name out there. It's really unnecessary considering part of the Ponzi scheme that we know is going on is that one person has many voices, whether they're a voice actor or whether they use technology or whether they just, a lot of people, when you look at them, they sound different. So when I do this work, I don't look at the people and I'm like, son of a gun, if that gal isn't the same gal. So with that being said, it was really funny today because our example that's going to step forward out of the anonymous ranks of YouTube, the gal she was defending wound up being her very own voice. I mean, that's priceless. So you got to think about it. If somebody sets up a racket, man, all you got to do is get some fake monopoly money for people to invest, and poof, you got the story. And so I went into this book, and what we're going to talk about, of course, is scams, the original Ponzi scheme. There you go. Let me give you there's the whole shot, the best I can do it. All right. Charles Ponzi, 1878 to 1949, an effervescent Italian immigrant, was hailed as living proof of the American dream come true. The 5'2" financier arrived at his investment headquarters in a blue stretch limousine. He puffed his cigar from a diamond-flecked holder, and he delivered his promise to return a 50% profit or investment in 45 days. Delivered, that is, to early investors. For a while, Charles Ponzi was a working-class hero, an entrepreneur who shared the J.P. Morgan secrets of high finance with the common man. One day in July 1920, as he approached the State House in Boston, an admirer screamed, "You're the greatest Italian of them all." The bantamweight millionaire demurred. "Oh no, Columbus and Marconi. Columbus discovered America. Marconi discovered the wireless." I know you guys know Columbus didn't discover America now. And the wireless thing, Well, we learned a little about that in that newspaper article from 1899 in the St. Louis Winter newspaper. So it's funny that everybody has to grab it up and say, oh, no, no, it's mine, it's mine. And of course, this goes back to the beginning of time because you have to have different creative minds coming up with the same kind of things, whether they're good or bad. It it was a form of telepathy. I wouldn't really call it hive mind. Similar to the 100 monkeys, even though we're not monkeys, and everybody's making fun of that right now too. But anyhow, back to the book. Sure, shouted someone else in the crowd, but you discovered money. In 1919 to 1920, Ponzi received upward of 15 million in small investments from 40,000 Bostonians, most of them Italian Americans. Mattresses lost their lumps as poor people who had never invested before pointed up their savings. Do you think that's why everybody always related the mafia to Italians here in America? I mean, I'm just throwing out ideas. I did not pre-read this. I just prepared the show. Okay, so check this out. And of course, I very well may talk back to our guest. Now, this is as close as I can get it. I wanted to start this video at 1:44:24, and I've got it close. It's 1:43:17, so it won't be a clean entrance, but hey, I'll turn it down so it won't even bother you. Hang on. We'll just give her a chance. So our guest tonight too will talk about, she has the perfect storm where she's slandered someone, a business, and full well knowing that this is the setup to a major infection. So a lawsuit and so on. But right now, this is the business idea. Bear with me.
And I'm sorry, if you want to roll with me, I get bored with that shit. I get bored with the same shit over and over and over and over again. Like, there's so much hate in the world. Like, why rub our nose in it? We're going to start making the rest of the week better. We're going to do shit that 42-year-olds do. Like, we're going to have family stuff. You guys are going to trust me. That's beside the point. Content's changing because I got a brand new idea. I know what I'm going to do with my life, guys.
Wonder where my microphone
is. This is how the show and everything was going to tie in together. I was given a brilliant idea.
Brilliant idea.
All my effort into making this, and I need you guys so bad right now. Ufta, are you here? Is Ufta here? Okay, yeah, she's here. All right. Because I need you. And I need Pam. I'm making a plea to the people of the community and beyond. Alright? This is what I'm going to do with my life, and this is what I really, really want to do. I've said this before, and nobody took me seriously, but at the end of the day, this is what I want to do. I want to be filthy rich, okay? That will come in time. It's happening right now. You guys don't know it right now. I'm humbled. I'm filthy rich with love right now, okay? When you guys hear me say filthy rich, you guys think it's all about money. It's not. I want to have my heart full, okay? And shit like that. And that's what filthy rich means to me. I want to just have that moment where this is a great life. It's a wonderful life. You know what I'm saying? That's what I mean by filthy rich, okay? That's number one. Then I got to take care of my dad and everybody else. That goes with it. Like, that'd be okay. I want to have my own show, reality or whatever it may be. I need my own
Are you ready for the big deal?
And it's going to be called Miss Wonderfuls. And it's going to be the best motherfucking bar in Indianapolis, okay? I'm going to get a business plan together because Ufta's going to help me and
Just pull one right out of your butt.
I'm going to get with Ufta and smart people in the community and like Richie, and I'm going to get the business plan together. And then I'm going to search for.
I mean, I ran a small business for 30 years. What do I know?
I'm going to get made fun of a lot.
I want to know about this.
Like I tell you guys all the time, I'm going to have gastric bypass.
What do you do with this?
I fucking do it. This is this. I've been thinking. I haven't even tainted the thought. I haven't even told Bargain because I don't want her shooting me down or any of my other friends. This is what I want to fucking do with my life. I want to own a bar. I know it's hard work. I know I'm gonna like be broke as fuck the first 4 or 5 years. But guess what? I've been broke for 42 years, so it don't add more 5 on there. Who cares? All right. I want to run my own fucking bar. I've worked in a bar since I could work. I know the ins and outs of most of it. I'm not going to be doing the bookkeeping. Dylan is going to help me. This is what you guys don't know is this guy is like super smart. I'm a fucking dumbass. We all know that. Like streetwise, I'm good.
Welcome, Ethan.
Book smart. We all know. Like I can't even speak right now.
Number 42.
We know that. But
that's a good clue.
This motherfucker is brilliant. You guys are probably like, whatever. You guys are white trash. Whatever. Well, we may be. But he's super fucking smart, okay? Like, ridiculously smart. Like, he knows it. That's why I like him. He's my saint.
It's ridiculous.
Right? He knows shit that I don't know. So, what he's going to do is do online business classes. We've already looked into it. He's going to get a business degree online. He's going to run the fucking bar, the books, and shit like that.
It's amazing.
He's the face of the bar, okay? But, with that being said, this bar, you walk in, you literally are going to have to sign a waiver. Because everything's going to be on fucking camera.
Because she's so cool.
If I can't get my own reality show, I'm going to make my own reality show for these people. Okay? It's going to be on YouTube.
See, I was helping her out.
Because anything I touch is crazy.
Because you guys know when I stream.
I'm going to have full-blown cameras in this bar. So you guys see everything that's
going on.
Oh,
she told me she'd bury me so deep I'd never get up.
Almost like my employees. Who do you trust more? Your friends and family? Or a motherfucker you hire off the street, okay? So I'm going to have to hire these motherfuckers on. This is what my portion is. Dylan does the business aspect, the firing and all that, and the business. I'm going to be front of house. I'm going to be making sure the bars are stocked, hiring employees and shit like that. With that bar having cameras completely surrounding it, let a motherfucker try to rip me off while you guys are watching. Somebody online will see it and fucking screenshot it and send it to me.
Tag screenshots.
With Daddy Wonderful having lunch, and I know how you motherfuckers are. You guys see everything.
Okay.
This is the best idea. So I'm going to have like quality control.
Wait a second.
Plus eyes in the sky all the time. You guys will be my eyes in the sky watching every fucking thing. Okay?
Oh, Angie, baby, don't worry.
There's so many ideas.
You just doxed her. That's not cool. I wasn't even showing her face.
As you know, we're not going to be doing that rap shit up.
Why am I restreaming? Well, see, that's the thing, Angie, that's so sad. This woman has many aliases. And she just so happened in another lifetime, I mean, only 4 years ago, ripped me off over $5,000. And we're talking about Ponzi schemes tonight. So if Miss Katie needs a group of investors, well, she's no different than Charles Ponzi. So I'm really not trying to fight about why I choose to bring education to people and, you know, maybe get my money back. You know, we're cleaning up YouTube, right? It has to be quality content that's entertaining. These games that people play with all these fake alias names. I mean, do you know how much time it's wasting? Do you know what a joke is going on at top levels with the government? And do you see where people have walked away from anything serious and taken up with games of nonsense? It's really not entertainment. It's like watching a train wreck. So I'm doing a show, and you got to remember, they know who all these different aliases are. And so if we want to get to it, we'll talk about that person. Wow, that she was really defending Jules of Thought. Remember the psychologist? Go read her about section. She's not a psychologist. I checked her videos out. It's the same smell. Y'all are stepping in the same thing, and I've been trying to warn everybody. So I'm an educational channel, and it's my life. So let's get back to the old Ponzi scheme, shall we? Ponzi claimed that he had figured out a way to cash in on the chaotic economic conditions in Europe just after World War One by buying international postal union coupons from certain countries at a discount and then redeeming them in the United States for full value. Ponzi announced he had an army of agents scurrying Europe to buy up all available discounted coupons, such as the penny ones in Germany that could be cashed here for a nickel. Ponzi's security exchange company had an entrance in Pie Valley in Boston, and lines of happy investors often stretched down the stairs and out in the street. Ponzi's relatives would duly note the transaction in ledger books. Tag that silly coupon story. His financial wizardry cast him into the national spotlight. She wants her own variety show, remember? I mean, you know what this is? This is like reality TV, third party intervention, two-way video communications. And remember, we're on the December 10th deadline. And don't just think that you guys know exactly how YouTube is going to do this either. It's funny, all the different schemes out there while everybody's running, going and getting their diapers. I mean, it's ridiculous. And we're also dealing with the whole, let's talk about politics for a minute, shall we? We've got this big security drop, whether it's with Russia or Ukraine or China or whoever. It's really what's going on in our world. And so we need to bring up the Computer Misuse Act of the UK and also intrastate commerce here in the United States. So for everybody that's been ripping off with their Amazon gift cards and doing their cheeseburger money and talking about nails with holes in them spurting blood, well, see, you're dealing with a bunch of rackets ripping off the money. And you want to just blame the big people in government? Hell no. Come on, it's rampant online. I ran a serious business for 30 years. You don't just talk shit and say, hey, give me some money, and I'm going to run a bar and have a camera up your butt. I mean, really? It's good for drama, but it's not intelligent for rebuilding wherever you happen to live. Be it, wherever we are here. What is it? I mean, is it the USA? Well, not really. Did Columbus discover America? No. And do you really know your friends online? Hell no. Most of them are hiding behind avatars and fake faces. And I'm sorry y'all didn't know that. It's tragic. It really is. But being that I've been involved as a scribe for the Presley story, I brought forward all these different faces. So even though I'm insignificant, see, it really doesn't matter what anybody thinks. I'm doing this to document in evidence. It's not something I'm acting at. It's real life drama, baby. And they think I'm funny. And I'm honest. I mean, what else you want? Oh, somebody younger. I got it. Somebody with a better voice. Hey, no problem. See, you're getting my real face and my real voice. So, oh, and my real name. Yeah, I didn't make up an avatar and play Skin the Bear. Jeez. Ponzi bought 100 suits and matching shoes. His cash bankroll bulged his trousers, as apparently did his young secretary mistress, Lucy Melly. In the summer of 1920, it all started to crash. The feds announced that all the postal coupons cashed in this country wouldn't account for even a trifle of the profits Ponzi had claimed. Boston financial expert C.W. Barron. Now, we got two tags there for anybody that follows the never-ending story in Sue's world. We got C.W. Chanter, and there's C.W., but it's Barron. And what was Trump's kid? Nobody's talking about Barron Trump anymore, are they? So, see, it's like earlier, man. For any of you guys that know Terry Joyce, and believe me, she's got a couple aliases, but it's irrelevant. She had a show on tonight, and I had to give it a thumbs up because, poof, out of the woodwork appears Isaac Cappy, and he's dancing in like this kind of space age background, and his hair looks just like somebody else's on YouTube, and so does his facial hair. And see, I had thought about that a while back because his voice reminds me of somebody else that's got boobs, but that's irrelevant. So here again, what we're talking about is voice actors, and there's fewer players online than what you think. It's not an infinite world of whatever, but here again, they're cleaning it up. And so it's kind of like match the dopadelic to the ding dong. And oh, yeah, they're smart enough, of course, to be able to reverse engineer it. So even if you think you can marble somebody's voice to sound like somebody, oh, they'll know who the real voice is. There's no secrets. Good grief. Okay. C.W. Barron lampooned Ponzi's investment scheme. Ponzi shot back in an interview in the New York World. Please do not think I am boasting, but I have forgotten more about foreign exchange than C.W. Barron ever knew. But the evidence was mounting. A public relations man temporarily in Ponzi's employ named William McMasters. Oh, I didn't tell you the end of the thing, though, with the hair. So we got Isaac Cappy alive singing a song, doing his dance and stuff. And, I mean, half of the people think he was murdered, and half of the people think he committed suicide. And in the meantime, what it really was like an IQ test. See, that's what all this has been about. Whether it's the QAnon or the anonymous or the video game streams or whatever. I didn't make the rules, man. I just rolled in 2014. I don't know what everybody's tripping about. It was so obvious to me. And that's because I was never online before. So I'm not here to burst anybody's bubble. I'm just really here to help. But I wasn't the right girl to help. It must be because I'm a redhead. I mean, there's got to be a reason. Or because I'm indigenous. I don't know. Why are they always picking on me? Oh, and I don't cry about it either. That's why the drama community gets so much enjoyment from sucking the energy dry from all the high melodrama. I mean, I'm supposed to wait until everybody's done dicking around? No, I don't think so. The man is a complete financial idiot. He can hardly add. And then McMasters himself added, there is money stuffed into every conceivable place in his offices. He sits around with his feet on a desk, smoking expensive cigars in a diamond holder, and talking complete gibberish about postal coupons. Kind of like that super chat button, huh? You know, when it pulses, they're sucking your money. I mean, it's classic. The takedown of the global financial system is a major Ponzi scheme. Perhaps more to the point, McMasters claimed that Ponzi had never issued or received a foreign financial draft. On August 9th, a bank commissioner declared Ponzi's account overdrawn. On August 11th, it was revealed that Ponzi had served prison time in Canada for forgery and time in Atlanta for smuggling aliens. Hey, you know the persona we've been talking about that has a different voice than your friend Katie. You know, her story was she got kicked out of her home country of Africa. Oh yeah. I mean, I was sus to her. She used a really bad accent, said Ben, Jerry, and sus. Okay, back to the story. On August 9th, a bank commissioner, yeah, and then on the 11th, right, we just read that, and he went to jail. Okay. Blue-collar investors swarmed Pie Alley, trying to pry their hard-earned money loose. Friday, August 13th, Ponzi was locked up, with 10,500 creditors demanding $4.3 million. Ponzi was declared bankrupt. At his hearing, the aforementioned young and attractive Secretary Lucy Melly was asked, were there any international reply coupons in your office? It was all about the VPNs and the servers and the IP addresses. I've been reporting on it since summer of 2016, but surely it wasn't important then or now. Somebody thinks it's important. All right. Yes, she answered sweetly. There was international reply coupons in the office. One or two as samples. Ponzi, seated nearby, gave a start, then burst out in a laugh. According to a later federal audit, about $2 million wound up missing. Ponzi had, of course, used later investors' money to pay early investors. A classic Ponzi scheme. He was sentenced to 5 years in federal prison in Plymouth, Massachusetts. Upon release, Ponzi tried a few more similar dodges and duly served more prison time. After being deported to Italy in 1934 and trying there to defraud Mussolini, he wound up dying penniless in a charity ward in Brazil. I have a feeling a lot of people have been caught in this Ponzi scheme, which people have walked away from here again and acted like it's just at the levels of the White House. I mean, give me a break. And it really does suck when people don't take the opportunity to stand up for small business. And the only jobs there's to work anymore is for the government. I mean, all of us wanted to be independent, be self-employed. And why one would steal it from another one, that's ridiculous. I mean, think back to the video about whoever Bargain is. Now, Bargain, it has a beauty outlet, a dollar store crap for makeup, but her best friend does actual makeup demos for Jeffree Star and them. That sure is a conflict of interest, isn't it? But the point is, I'm calling this woman out and saying that this is an alias for the same woman that ripped me off, charged me $3,000 to build a website, never let me have it, and wound up using it for another part of her Ponzi scheme. Because, I mean, talk about the beauty industry. I know all about that crap. And see, your buddy there, in her other life, well, she worked for L'Oreal because she was worth it. And she used to go into salons in Europe and give them big displays of fancy stuff they couldn't afford. So they lost their salon. Why did she want me? Well, because I have a distributorship to Trionics enzymes. She could have made a fortune. That's real business. And if I was ever allowed to do real business online, I would be selling real things, not bullshit merch like the rest of everybody else in this nut house. Jeez. Why? I mean, you're destroying your own self. Why do I do what I do? Because I care. Oh, I'm not allowed to care, some people say. Well, I always say, blow me sideways. All right. So, I'm going to just go ahead and go back to the Ponzi scheme, if that's cool.
I mean, sometimes we might have hip-hop Sundays or something like that.
Hip-hop Sundays.
Like a country
at the country bar.
It's going to be fucking badass.
With the cameras.
Okay, so I used to work for, remember when I almost married the Turkish guy? Remember when I told you guys I almost married the Turkish guy? Okay. I was working at his
I think she means a
restaurant,
turkey.
At 86th and Ditch for a while. Over there on the north side. It was called Istanbul Cafe.
I live on the north side.
His liquor license. He's holding on to that because it's hard to get a liquor license in Indianapolis. I'm going to ask him.
She's going to buy a business license for a liquor business license. I don't know if they're transferable.
A little bit of extra cheeseburger money that would like to invest in something that you're going to get back from.
I quit eating cheeseburgers 15 years ago.
Because I'm taking it very seriously. I've got some of the smartest people behind me who are going to write up a business plan. A little bit of money money will go a long way. Okay, whenever I put my money,
There's the
into
investment.
something, it fucking happens, dude. And I'm obsessed with this idea. I have been for like months. I've been telling you guys, big shit's gonna happen. Well, now
I'm telling you, big shit's happening.
With this. Like, this is what I'm going to do with my life. Why not?
Well, she stole $5,000 from me. What the hell?
Why not? You know?
Why not?
Who supports
Because
me
you're
in
a
this
pain in
idea?
my
Put it
ass.
in the chat. You think, no, this is a bad idea, put it too. I need honest opinions. Don't worry. I still like you.
No, you don't. I put a bunch of comments in a chat very kindly directed to her. She actually erased them. I saved the screenshots.
Yes, I told you it's a good idea, isn't it? Listen, also, if I get this bar going, it's going to give my dad something to fucking do, okay? My dad
The old man that had a couple heart attacks.
My dad needs to
That's
be in
nice.
control of something.
Be right back.
It's easy. He can be in control. We'll give him jobs at the bar, all right? I know you shouldn't hire family, but my stepmom can't keep a fucking job, dude, and that's just the truth. And I am literally, I can't get ahead at the ripe age of 42 because I hustle my ass off more than you guys think I do. I paid a lot of people's way in my life. This will give them an opportunity to make their own way. I'm helping them at the same time. Does that make sense? Like, it'll boost the morale in my family, okay? And I need that.
Well, I needed to take care of my family too, but you didn't care.
And then everybody else is just going to be strictly employees off the streets. I know that you got to
employees off the streets with security cameras. That should be nice.
Investors, because guys, I got a podcast and you know that. I will take out a small business loan. I was researching that yesterday. A woman, small business, first time small business, dude. I'm gonna get that. I'm gonna find it. Like, I have an idea of a
Why couldn't I
location.
get a small business loan, especially with an established, excellent reputation? See, it's not that easy.
I mean, and listen, if I fail and I fall flat on my face, guys, and I fall flat on my face, you guys, and I'll pay you all your money back. It may take me eternity, but I'll fucking
Well,
pay
that
you
should be no problem to pay everybody back. You can pay me back first. I keep telling her, pay me back.
Investors that believe in me, believe in the channel, and I promise I could give 100% into this. This is like my life too. Southside has stables. Nothing on that place. I don't know. There's too many bars on the South Side. I want it to be on the West Side. I do, but to have a location. I have a friend who has a liquor license who isn't doing anything with it, and I'm going to ask him to buy it off of him. It's in Marion County, though. It's Marion County, so wherever it is, the bar has to be.
I got this old liquor license I'm not doing nothing with. Let me sell it to you. I mean, think about it.
I'm dead serious. I'm going to have to write up a business.
Getting a liquor license
and I'm going to go to the bank.
is like in the same lines of getting a firearm. Major background check. This woman's been scamming since 2010 online. This all started back in 2010 for you guys that don't know. That's why they all got the amnesia. 10 years of lying, a decade of scams.
Where's Ufta going? Prayers for Ufta. She's going through it right now. I don't know what for, but pray for her. Also pray for Morgan because she's ugly. Morgan, stop being mean.
See, I wasn't even going to show her face and show the big pox and show the ugliness of this woman.
She didn't want to see me live my fucking passion.
That's why I'm just letting the audio play.
She didn't want to see it. But no, guys, I'm dead serious.
She's fucking 20 years younger than me when she's 32.
It's not a hairball scheme. It's none of that. This is a very serious.
Oh,
this is a very serious
by the way, that's the crisis year when people have their fucking nervous breakdowns.
Morgan said, what, for your invoice on friendship?
You just ended a 20-year friendship over a hole in your nail, remember?
Morgan sending me invoices to pay her for friendship.
Tag invoices for friendship. Son of a gun. Maybe her name is Ponzi.
Did I show you guys I got Christmas cards?
I can't believe she participates in those rituals.
I got Christmas cards.
Oh, but she was raised
Dollar Tree.
very religiosus. She got all the boogie
Happy
boogie.
holidays. And this one.
What do you call it?
I'm not started
Dogma.
yet, but I'm going to. How? Fuck me.
Mm-mm. And hey, why does she want to be her friend's baby's daddy? And she's kind of a dyke, but she's doing Dylan, and I mean it's I watched a soap opera for 30 years. All my children. I mean, seriously. Didn't anybody watch soap operas like
Hashtag bargain beauty, everybody. She actually sent some cheeseburger money and not an invoice. She says bar money from bargain is a beauty. Bar money from bargain is a beauty. That was her very important and special message to us all. Thank you. We are all woke now, bargain, from your fucking enlightening quote. Bar money from bargain is a beauty. What
she is a conscious consumer through and through.
Bargain. You're still ugly, but we love you.
Isn't that terrible to tell your friend that they're ugly?
Oh, Jen.
I mean, why would you do that?
It is one of my biggest supporters, and you all don't know because you don't care.
Everybody's somebody's baby.
I so support you in the bar. I know it's not much, but your dream is possible. Reach for the stars and you will make it happen. Payday. Everyone hashtag payday with that very special positive message.
Hashtag Ponzi
We
scheme.
appreciate you, payday, around here. We do.
Oh, I'll do that when I share the video. Don't worry.
Hashtag payday. Everyone hashtag bargain too for her wild message. Wiz, do not. Are you talking to Wiz? She knows all about you, bargain.
You know the Fair Use Act of 1976. Education, commentary.
Thank you so much for talking sense to us. We appreciate you, payday.
I'm here to talk sense to you.
Bargain the beauty. Read it right. You dummy. Did you type it right? Because I'm going to read it again. I had to read it twice just to see.
My nose has been running today. There's a couple meanings behind that, but
bar money from bargain.
Not the parasites and worms like around some people.
That's too much. That makes no sense. Bar money from bargain.
Vampires from Vermont. I don't know what the hell they are.
It's a lie. Listen, I really can't put up with you today. I really can't. I'm trying to have a good day. I'm going to go see Crystal. Crystal.
She gonna go see Crystal. This sad, sorry woman probably told everybody that she got gastric bypass, but really didn't. You get how the Ponzi scheme works? Send me cheeseburger money so I can get my gastric bypass. Are you high? I mean, seriously? And she tapes herself to look the way she wants to appear to y'all? I mean, what the hell? And you guys worship her and kiss her feet? Oh my gosh. I can't barely believe it. But, you know, considering that her and I were friends, and she called me her sister and said I betrayed her. Why? Because I wouldn't join her cult? I mean, really? How stupid can you get? In the meantime, now see, here's what we got going on. I'm also making this video officially. So if the nail salon she calls out by name is a real place, which I highly doubt, well, I would be an expert witness because I am a licensed cosmetologist, ran a business 30 years, know state board like the back of my hand. And oh, if you follow, I mean, I can't even believe I took a serious, see, I take everything serious because I'm doing it, okay? I want to do the best job I can do. So this beauty industry, whether it's Jeffree Star and Shane mocking the hell out of it, which is all part of the bigger movie. Don't worry about it. I can't believe how many women fell for that. Don't doesn't anybody care about how the product's made? Why is it just about the packaging? And why is the mirror a pig? I mean, that's wackadoo. I don't care how fuddly you look. You really don't want a pig mirror. Come on. These are grown ass adults. But the point is, this woman, in one of her lifetimes, oh yes, she did go to beauty school. Oh yes, she did do hair and makeup on television sets. I mean, from the line of shit I got handed the first time. So she knows rules, okay? Now let me just break it down for you. If you wear acrylic nails for 20 years, you're just dying for a reason to get an injury so you can sue somebody. Kind of like that woman that made the TV that got the gangrene on her finger, remember, from the dirty implement? And if you would have never sold out the Caucasian or ethnic hair salons that spoke of the English, I mean, the next thing you know, you can't communicate with the technician that's working on your hands. And it's all a big joke. It's really serious, the infections you can get from implements in a salon or in a nail salon. So to set somebody up when they already got paper thin nails that are hurt, that are cracked, well, you're really not supposed to get the damn nails done. Jeez. I mean, I watched women get their nails done. And you know what? Sometimes they had to take breaks, boo-boo kitty. So, you see, just like the nail techs say, they didn't even want to do the service. But these days, you can't refuse service anymore, or you just really want the money. And here again, it's really the industry that is pumping it and prostituting it. And if you're an employee of somebody like Ms. Wonderful, when she gives you an order, you better damn well jump. So that's what they did. And they put super glue on that open skin. I mean, I guess they never heard of lizard glue. There's other glues that can be used. There's other things that can be done. But nobody really cares about that because they have no ethics and they have even less skill. And it's really pathetic because why would anybody even want to pay for something that is substandard quality? Well, you better thank China for that. And don't forget, because I know not everybody has the time to watch my factual videos, which are for education and slightly entertaining. Don't forget about the flat earth crap. The fiber optics that were laid before 2000, that then they needed to go get India to fulfill all the technology that would set it up. And then they got China because they had the same thing, the technicians and the amount of people that would work for nothing. And you wonder why everybody's scamming cheeseburger money. What the hell? Oh, and then when they bring jobs back, well, everybody's in a position where they have to take a job that gives them no satisfaction or nothing helpful. And I'm telling you, The banks are terrified whatever's going on. Something big's coming in December where I bank at US Bank. And I sure do know a lot of people didn't get the payoffs they expected when my accounts were hacked. So if anybody's got any issue with me talking out, it might be because you might get implicated in a crime. I mean, geez, fucking whine all you want. And I'm the bad guy. Give me a break. I mean, we can restructure business. And they already know who's honest and who isn't. I still don't get why it's such a foolhardy situation that we're engaged in. But that's okay. So let's just zip on back to the beginning of this nail story because, boy, is it a pain in my ass. I mean, it's a pain in her finger, but she demanded it. Oh, and one more thing, which has nothing to do with her. But let's say we believe this gossip that the FDA is going to get sued because of fluoride in the water. Now, the FDA hasn't done nothing for the last 25 years or so. And they don't want to deprive anybody of the toxins in their personal beauty care products. So like I was saying, if you've got Jeffree Star and Shane whoring out makeup that's turning everybody's face red, isn't somebody asking what's in the product? Well, no, Suze. Why should we? Because then we can cry about it later and blame somebody else. Plausible deniability is very ugly. And it's also ignorant. In my opinion.
Let's go. Now I'm mad. All right, a little bit mad, but not like furious mad. So it is what it is. I'm gonna get over it because it's whatever, dude. Sometimes I think my friend don't even realize what the fuck she says when she says it, or she doesn't realize sometimes she can truly hurt people's feelings, and she is so self-unaware of it. And I know this. That's why.
And remember, on YouTube, you can't be friends with somebody if somebody else isn't friends with the other one.
People are starting to
6 degrees of separation. Everybody not even knowing who the hell they are to each other.
Take off nails and stuff like that. Like, he's not a nail tech. He's helping his daughter out.
Oh, so we have an unlicensed
at this point, those two have their
gentleman
I'm just now ready
doing things that only licensed people can do.
Put on and all that. So, anyways, Brittany now comes to me. At this point, you can tell she's in a rush.
Brittany's the head bitch.
Anything but my nails. She goes with that little thing. Remember, I just told her, Dad, we just had the best fucking hour of our lives talking about life, Trump. He was
life and Trump at the nail salon.
Like, this might be a place I want to fucking go. This is the first time I've had nails removed where they were.
And if you get your nails done, you have a regular nail tech.
So I'm like, yes,
you don't shop hop.
So Brittany comes. Obviously, the nail salon's getting busy. She's just trying to get people in. I understand that. She's looking every which way but my nail. She comes down with that little thing and cuts my fucking.
Some people can't talk and chew gum at the same time.
I'm sorry, it won't happen again. Okay, fine, okay. It's no big deal. Accidents happen. She's busy. It's whatever. She goes in, and now she's putting on the acrylic. Okay, she glued them on. Well, the older man had glued them on. She's putting on the acrylic.
That's illegal.
Okay.
Wait.
And at this point, I see she's doing it really weird and really, really sloppy. And at one point, she's literally putting acrylic.
Can she prove this story?
So you are not paying attention.
Should we find out if it's a real salon?
I called my friend over and I said, "Hey, let me see your nails."
Oh, that'd be fun, wouldn't it?
I just want to make sure. And hers looked a little sloppy. I wasn't lying.
I mean, I'm not going to do it.
So I was like, okay, I know what I'm getting into now. Go on, Frank. She goes on.
I bet the network would check it out.
At this point, I have little balls of motherfucking acrylic down here, and this is real thin. And I'm just looking at her like, what is she doing? Maybe this is her style. This is what
It's traditional when they sculpt nails to put the stuff down in balls and pat it and flatten it.
Okay, that's fine. All right, I don't know what you're doing, but it's fine.
She does too know if she's been getting it done 20 years.
Looking over her shoulder, goes too deep. This finger, look at this finger. This is why this finger is fucking.
Oh, I can't show your face. Nobody knows who you are.
He cuts the middle of my fucking nail, and I was like, whoa. I'm mad now. This is number fucking 2, okay? I said, listen, I just drove here from Brownsburg. Please impress me a little bit, girl. I said, you gotta watch what you're doing. You know what? If that was Mary, if Mary would have gotten her finger, you seen what happened the first time Mary got her finger cut at a fucking nail salon. If it was anybody, Crystal, tell me you would have been up out of that fucking chair the first time they nicked your finger. That is rule number 1 at a goddamn nail salon. You don't want to hurt your customers. At this point, my fucking nail's bleeding in the middle of it. What does the bitch do? I said, impress me, do something, dude. You're not doing it right. Like, I'm seeing blood.
I mean, this offends me as a hairdresser.
She grabs super glue and puts it right on there.
That would have never happened in my salon.
I'm like, oh my God. I was like, if it puts another layer of acrylic over it. At this point, she's now stopped the blood.
Like a pussy sandwich.
Super glue on it and acrylic. And I'm like literally blown away. I said, look, if you cut my finger again, I'm going to be mad. Because she total disregard. You cut my fucking finger, bitch. Anybody else would have stopped and been like, oh my God, are you okay? I look at her, I said, if you cut another one of my fingers, I'm going to be mad. And I say it just like that. Okay? Now, look, the nick on my fucking thumb, you can barely see it. It's right under there. No big fucking deal. This
you see lawsuit flashing.
Let me tell you why.
I mean, seriously.
The story gets better.
She could lose her finger over this. I'm not making fun.
After I say,
this is serious.
If you break it, or if you cut my finger again, I'm going to be mad. Because that'll be number fucking 3, girl. I know this is a new salon, you're new, and you're doing your shit, but please. I literally traveled.
She's a shop hopper. How does she know who's new and who isn't?
This would be anybody wouldn't accept this at this point. So I'm real bad, and my fucking friend behind me is embarrassed. Fuck my fingers, her little fat, fucking red-ass fucking face, redder than hell. Fuck you, take a seat, you're not my friend.
And you guys think I got no business being on YouTube speaking. And I have to listen to this horse shit.
This motherfucker, this Brittany girl goes, I do nails every day. I never had a problem, but you were the problem.
This is not...
Then just stop. I'll give you $20 right now for what you've done, and I will leave. She goes like this. Okay, goodbye. I'm not paying up.
She gave her the hand.
Goodbye. I turn around and I go to walk out the door. Little redhead. I said, you fucking
little redhead.
We're done.
And what about the Susie food they're going to cook up? My name's Susie.
Done cut my fingers. Let's go. Let's fucking go. Oh no, she has to wait because she still has to get hers fixed from the mess that the motherfucker did before. Said, you pay, I'm fucking done. I go out to the car because I know I'm getting big fucking mad. I go out to the fucking car. I'm sitting there smoking a cigarette. I see my friend come up. Why you gotta be so dramatic? Have you seen my finger? Have you seen the fucking acrylic over my... No. You're more worried about you being embarrassed than your friend's fucking finger almost getting cut off, motherfucker. Right on. And you paid when I told you not to fucking pay because I would have goddamn paid. There's nothing to be paid for that.
Hang on. So when people are tripping about ego, let me just explain this again. And of course, this comes from Rudolf Steiner's great work that everybody overlooks because they're short bus or something. Okay. The purpose of your ego is to know who you are and what you do. So, you're developing as a teenager and you're saying, hey, I'm Joe Blow and I can drive a gear shift car and I'm really good at it and I play sports. Okay, great. There's the ego. Now, as you go through life, as other things happen, the false ego is simply when you tell somebody who you are and why they should listen to you and why you're going to order them around. See, that's not a healthy ego. That's a megalomaniac. And to ditch a friend, I mean, why would you pretend to have a loyalty to someone that would ditch you after 20 years because you don't hop to it and kiss her ass? I mean, that's redunculous too. Absolutely stupid. 3 bitches go into a nail shop to screw in a light bulb. I mean, it's like a bad joke.
That old man could have died. So this is what I did. I said, you paid, didn't you? Yeah, because you were going to call the cops. No, they weren't. This is what the fuck happened. I said, get the fuck out of here. I got my fat ass out of her fucking car. Go. Leave me in Beach Grove. I see her friend come up, try to talk to her friend. Why I'm trying to explain myself to her friend, other friend, on the phone with her. I don't know what's going on. I can hear her through the fucking Bogey, get the fuck out of here, dude. Get the fuck out of here. I'm done. Listen, I'm to the point in my life I ain't putting up with shit no more. If you ain't got my back 100%, get the fuck out of my life. So I go back in there. I go to the Bamboo.
And you guys are just playing like you got each other's backs because you don't know whose back is what. You scratch too many fleas.
Okay, calm down. I'll be there. I waited for him to get there, and I went back into the nail salon. And I said, listen, Brittany, you made your money off of my nails today, and I'm going to rip you apart tomorrow. I'm going to the Better Business Bureau. I'm going to I got pictures of my fingers. I literally took pictures in the bamboo garden so that I could keep them when I file a fucking report on her. And I said, you're lucky my friend paid. You just made me lose one of my best friends. You're going to have that on your conscience, too. You may
pain and suffering. You owe me so much for pain and suffering, Blondie.
And by the way,
you're a bad son in a commercial.
Here's $30 fucking. You did the best job in here. Walked my fat ass right back out while a police officer sat out in the fucking drive. Like, I don't know why the cops were there. I think they were just. Desiree said that they were threatening to call the cops. I was like,
Desiree.
When I went in there, they were bringing
all right,
my ass up.
Let's just stop right there so I'm not talking over her. Let's talk about the meaning of the alias Desiree. Now, this woman has another alias, and one of her friends that she's been like this forever that broadcast on her network, CCN, which is now debunked. It was just a free YouTube channel. Oh, but now you get how the Ponzi scheme works and how the broadcasters come together and they do a little gig and then they all go jumping and going other places and picking up new names and relocating. Now you're starting to figure it out. Okay, Desiree Rover was on CCN. But even more importantly, Desiree is my oldest daughter's middle name. So if I come into a chat and I'm not welcome because I'm not paying somebody off to listen to a free live stream, well, what if I know every name and it means something to me? Well, see, there are no such thing as coincidences, although people do claim that there are. Oh, no. And it's amazing. Time is so irrelevant in all these things. And it's like whoever gets it out there first acts like they knew. But if we know you can set the time at these anytime you want. For example, when I was listening to this morning, we'll see it wasn't live. But in the video, she actually spoke a time. And it was 1 hour different, but we're in different time zones. See, don't believe everything you hear. And quit thinking everybody's full of shit. Because there's actually some truthful people, including myself. And I'm not going down without a big fight. And if you don't think this has to do with something at higher levels that has to do with leaks and terabytes of information, when I've been documenting it for 4 years, well then, here again, you protest too much, man. You must be involved.
Now, so I don't believe anybody was threatening to call a fucking cop. But I did tell her, give her a piece of my mind. She apologized and all that. So, old man, you're cool. Brittany, no, you're not. Anyways, there was a Beach Road police officer sitting. God damn, look how fucking big that is.
You shouldn't say GD.
Beach Road police officer sitting in the parking lot the whole fucking time. So why would they have to call cops? They could just walk the fuck right out there. Oh, I'm gonna call the licensing board. Listen, it gets worse. So Dylan gets there. I'm showing him my fingers, and he's like, "Yeah, I think you should take that acrylic off the nail." And I was like, "No, dude, I'm not going with it. Look, you can see where my skin is peeling from this."
That's pure stupidity and
She
vanity.
ended up nicking my finger again, you guys. But it is what it is. So I got 3 nicks.
And then you're going to want to sue her.
Here's one. That
You
was the
forced
one
her.
when she was trying to fix the fucking middle of my finger. So at this point, I got my thumb nicked, I got my side, and you guys know it's like a paper cut.
And the one eyelash doesn't glue on right because her eye's all messed up and lumpy. That's why the one sits weird.
So she got it there, and then dead in the middle of this one, like it's so sore, I can't even fuck with it. Anyways.
But she's
So
your
the little
YouTube
nail salon open
queen.
near me, tons of them pop up. Go right
Hey,
across the street to this place
Ethan,
called Rosedale.
be
It's a
careful
Beach Road. Shout
about
out
all
to
these
that
emojis. They're not even going to let you, like, be on YouTube streams. Haven't you heard?
Like, oh my God. I said, yeah, oh my God. I just came from Brittany's nails.
Brittany's
my
nails.
nail. So, this is a catastrophe in my mind. Like, she's looking at my nail. She's like, they didn't go to bottom. I was like,
Did you notice
on the end of my nail.
the dialect?
I said, look at this finger. Look what she did.
She went
She
to a
was
foreign
refusing to
Hong
fix that
Kong
finger
fooey
for me.
shop.
I had to, you can ask Dylan. I
He
had
gave him the
to
karate
beg
chop.
I said, no, please fix this. I cannot go with all my nails and not one nail. She was like, it'll hurt. It'll get infected. I was like, no, I don't care. It's not your fault. It's Brittany Nail Salon. You put a nail over this. If it gets infected, I sue them, not you. I sue them, not you. She said, she didn't want to do it, dude. She literally, listen.
Tag it.
This lady's heart. She was like, let me take the acrylic off. So she literally, with a cotton ball, sat there like
She already
this,
said who she'd
taking
sue.
the acrylic off. When she ripped that super glue, oh my God, I screamed in the middle of the salon. And she knew it was going to hurt. And she's like, I'm so sorry. I'm like, it's not your fault. I'm like, this is the worst day ever. So I go and I'm like, and Dylan is now looking through the window, like, what is going on? He comes in, he was like, don't get that nail done. So what did I do? This is what she did.
He would still love her, even
She
with a
put the
fuddly
whole,
nail.
Like, you know how you put the tips on? She ended up putting like a whole layer over. This is what we did. She took it off.
Well, now she knows a lot about nails.
Real well. And I mean, sting like a motherfucker. Oh my God. There is a crack in the middle of my nail, you guys. I'm literally looking at it like my pain level is, I'm going to say about 8. Like, this fucking hurts, dude. And I'm not being dramatic. My goddamn finger is putzing with blood at this point. Like, motherfucker. She's like, are you sure? Are you
She
sure?
had a
I said, yes.
pre-existing
I got it.
condition.
So what she did is she took the whole fucking tip and put it like way further down. She put alcohol on it. Then she was like, super glue. That's the only way we'll be able to maybe do this, okay? So she puts the alcohol on, it stings, it quits bleeding. She puts a little super glue on. She takes the whole tip. So my
Fucking
tip is technically
bullshit.
down to here and covered the wound. Okay?
Dang,
and then
God.
with the acrylic, she said, this nail will break very soon. She said, come back and see me in a week. We'll try to work with it. Or just leave it alone and hopefully it'll grow out, which is what I'm going to do in like 2 weeks. It'll matter. She said, this
It
nail
is
will
not
break.
gonna
I feel
grow
it's
out.
so fucking sensitive to the touch, you guys. Last night, putting on my pants, it fucking hurt. Like, I told Dylan, I was like, dude, how am I going to deal with this? Like, it's sore, and I'm not trying to be dramatic. It's like, goddamn, my finger hurts. But anyways, so Rose Nail, Beach Grove, you're amazing people. I'm giving them the biggest shouts out. I gave it to this. Listen, I really ain't got shit right now. I gave that, but not only did I give old man $30,
Right, y'all ought to be paying for her
this,
nails.
You deserve every bit of this. Your daughter deserves nothing, and I would have gave you a motherfucking thing. You're lucky my ex-friend did. So anyways, that's 30. I had to, dude, this lady felt so bad for you. You know, she only charged me $20 to fix all my nails. It took me 2.5 hours to get them fixed. I'm not kidding you. I was so mad. Dylan was mad. Like, well, here goes today. You know what I mean? It took her like 2.5. She was being slow because I was so sensitive about my nails. She didn't want to rush and all that. So it could have taken like an hour and a half. But I was just like, anytime the fucking thing came out. Like, now I have PTSD from this fucking nail salon. I'm not even kidding you. So she fixes the nails, and I love them so much. They are such cool.
She got PTSD
they're staring at my nails like,
from that nail salon.
Like, literally, you know, it's like an Asian nail salon. All the little Asian ladies came up and were like, no good, no good.
Notice what I wore tonight.
So that made my anxiety go up worse.
I can't help myself.
No, you shouldn't be doing this. You don't do this. Bitch, put the nail on my fucking bag because I'm not walking around with one nail not done because of Brittany. Fuck that.
I've been a really good sport.
So, anyways, got the nail done. Remember, and the reason I was stuck with Dylan on his day off is because I had rode with my friend to fucking Beach Road. When I told her to fucking leave, I got out and I froze my ass off in the front of a 40A until Dylan got there. About 30 minutes, called Bargain, told her what happened. Bargain was like, Bargain owns salons. I don't know if you.
Bargain owns salons.
I've already accidentally said it before. She owns hair salons. She does. She has nail techs. And let me tell you what Bargain said. Bargain lost her shit too. Okay? No. As far at her salon, if they were to cut someone, that's when you get down on your knees and you start kissing ass because you know how easy it is to get a fucking nail infection from nail salons. I mean, the stories are all over. This just isn't something you hear about every now and again.
Like getting fingers and toes amputated.
So when I was telling Bargain, Bargain was like, by the time I got to the point where Brittany tells me I do nails every day and I don't ever have a problem, you're the problem, Bargain lost her shit too. So I knew I was 100% in the right. 100%.
Oh, 100%.
Like, yes. And then my friend didn't even have my back. Her and her other friend went out to lunch to Kiki, and guess what? Talk more shit about me. And you know they did. You know they did because she sends me a text message and goes, "Me and so both think that you did whatever."
And it's so funny.
Both think
So and so.
liars.
How can you prove anything if it's so and so?
Everybody, get the fuck away from me. Don't claim you're my best friend and do that shit to me. Guess what?
Best friend.
20, it ain't gonna be like that. Out with the old and with the new. I've decided I'm just done with bullshit. I'm ready for new people in my life. I'm ready for new friends. I'm ready for new beginnings. I mean, seriously, that was straight fucking bullshit. No concern. Did you even look at my finger? No, you didn't. Because your face was so red and you were so worried about how fucking embarrassed. This is the same friend who gets embarrassed to every fucking thing. Same friend wondering why I don't want to go out and do why. You're going to be embarrassed all the time. Why the fuck would I want to hang out with you? Go hang out with your other friends who are less embarrassing. Yeah, right. Okay. Anyways, I'm fucking big bothered. I left my coat in the back of this friend's car and I sent her a message, give me back my coat. It's the only coat I have. Yeah, I got a box with some coats in it. Those coats do not fit, okay? You guys know I'm not wearing a coat. I need my leather coat. Yeah, I'll drop it off. Doesn't drop it off. Me and Dylan gotta go out there and get the fucking coat. It's just like, can you be any more of a fucking asshole, dude? Any more?
Wow. Can anybody be a bigger asshole? Then what's going on? Oh, well, it must be me because I'm actually reporting it. Here again. This is so wrong on every level. And I'm personally involved as a professional and someone bringing real life stories. See, that's the important thing to take away from this, is that you have to do something worthwhile. Bring something true. Get you a dadgum book and learn something. Quit letting people pick on you while you go bully somebody. I mean, really. I never seen so many bullies and assholes. Okay. We got a special one we got to do. And that's where she puts some people on blast. Because, everybody likes to be blasted. I wish it was 10 seconds earlier. Wishes and dreams, right? 47:26. Here's 47:36. Is as good as it's gonna get. No, that's right.
Let the cameras fucking roll. I want to show everybody. If I'm an asshole, I'm an asshole. I wish I had cameras yesterday to show you guys how this went down. I guarantee you, and I'm not even being dramatic, and I'm not a victim whatsoever. You guys would be really like heartbroken for me in this situation. Like, not heartbroken, you'd be feeling for me because these two motherfuckers weren't seeing what's going on in front of me. They're not seeing nothing. The other one I don't really care. But you motherfucker are supposed to be my friend. How about some fucking compassion here? If it was you, I'd have been flipping over that goddamn table.
Well, I haven't had any compassion shown to me.
For motherfuckers not to have my back in situations like this, in real life or online. I'm not taking it. You ain't got my back, I ain't got yours. My loyalty to someone runs so fucking deep. Like, literally, I would literally help you. I would literally help you bury a fucking body and shit, and you know that. But when you can't even have my back because you're too
bury a body.
Like who?
And wait a second, Blondie. Okay. So she's such a good friend, she'll help bury a body if you kill somebody. So when I say that there's a bunch of co-conspirators running around with this dumbass, they all agreed to bury somebody so deep they'd never get up, and that's me. I mean, do you give a shit? Oh, yeah, on the shows you talk about how wrong that is. But it's even worse to hurt an animal. And she calls her cats tittens. You don't even want to know. You don't even want to know what I read the other day. Oh, it's probably in this book. Weirdest thing. They used to encourage lactating mothers, and lactating means you're going to develop milk to nurse your children with. It comes out of the boob. Well, anyhow, they used to encourage them to feed animals. Now you're thinking about all them creepy pictures that look all boogie. Like even the Egyptian one, where the dog or the cat's nursing on a human. Say, get the hell off me, man. You kidding me? Let's see if I can find it real quick. Oh, maybe you guys want to know what's in this book. That'd be nice to me. And in that way, we'll get it on audio, visual, because this is not our book. We have to give it back. And that's okay. So we have our first section, which is arts and literature. The original Grimmer fairy tales. Shakespeare's sexual puns, sweet bottom grass, and others. Let's tag Soggy Bottom Girls. Secret Lot sees Soggy Bottom Girls as a avatar on YouTube. So I'm not calling them out. I'm just saying Sweet Bottom Grass reminds me of Soggy Bottom Girls, and it's sexual, and it's a pun. And Shakespeare isn't who you thought he was, and only men could act. Forgotten failure by future geniuses. Revenge against critics. Suppressed illicit works. High art. Snorting and swigging the muse. Fraud. Old masters on trial. Flagrant misquotes from Go West Young Man to Spare the Rod. Next is the business category. Dirty money. Tracing famous American fortunes. Child labor. Rampant in the United States before World War II. Bitter business feuds. Business ethics, an oxymoron. Cocaine in Coca-Cola and the corner drugstore. Pocahontas lights up another's smoking tails. Scams, the original Ponzi scheme. Financial grab bag. Next is crime and punishment, the not so fine art of executing criminals. The Pope blesses torture. Investigation, centuries of rushing to judgment. Unjustly forgotten criminals. Georgia justice is blind, deaf, and dumb. I gotta tag Georgia because, believe it or not, my paternal family name, Glasscock, there is a county in Georgia called Glasscock County, Georgia. I wonder what they did. I mean, it can't be my fault. I never lived in Georgia. Oh, but there is somebody out there that's claimed my address. So, how would any of you schmoes like that? Next thing you know, somebody that isn't even a real human, I mean, their face doesn't come up in a search, which means somebody cut and pasted the face together, but it still goes back to a real person. And if you don't think the feds know about that, then you're smoking crack. You see what I mean? Everything makes sense if you just chill the hell out. Okay. Misconceptions. Bonnie Parker. She was no Faye Dunaway. Odd cases. Bestiality and the law. And bestiality is this close to sodomy. Everyday life, which doesn't involve sodomy or bestiality. The toilet training of the human race. The evolution of underwear. The underside of breastfeeding. That'd be where it is with the dogs. That's where it is. Okay, missteps in men's fashion. Hair strategies through the ages. The smell of history. Filthy saints. Etiquette rules for breaking wind and bread. When men were men and wives were chattel. Flogging knowledge into young scholars. Curse words before today's four-letter drudgery. Painfully odd entertainment. That's kind of like each one of these communities on the web. Each one has its own Ponzi scheme. Every damn one of them. I'm not saying each person's involved. They know who's who, like I said. Okay. Medicine. Medical history, a tradition of incompetence. Anatomy, doctors and body snatchers. What is it? Hang on. Just a minute. That woman that's got a voice match is Jules of Thought. She's supposed to be the doctor. Mistreating the mentally ill. Research. Humans as lab rats. Bizarre breakthroughs. Peering over the shoulder of early gynecologist. Wait, gynecologist. It would be a gynecological checkup. They got some tools. You ought to see them. They're about this big in this book. I mean, serious. It's bad. Okay. Malpractice. Miscellany. Well, see, that would be malpractice, like what happened at the old nail salon. Anybody with a license can get hit with it, not just a doctor at the hospital. Dentistry before Novocaine. I've told those stories. Kind of like the fluoride. You know, to have to hear that one. I mean, the FDA should be getting sued for about, 100 different things. And the fluoride thing, people are just hurt because they think that's the reason they're stupid. The fluoride makes you not really care. They used to give it to the concentration camp prisoners. It lowers your IQ, makes you dumb. Well, see, it was really about the strontium 90, thus the 1962 St. Louis Baby Tooth Survey. And yes, I'm radioactive, but so are you guys. It's about the strontium 90 and all these coded messages, just like the Ukraine. Oh my God. Everything's a coded message. And oh yeah, back to Terry. That was the point about Isaac Cappy. Dadgum. The song he sang. You know, like I told you, behind the space doors. They explained to everybody how Isaac Cappy's name represents a couple dozen things. So think about that when you think about Ms. Wonderful or your favorite YouTube celeb. I don't need to name off a dozen people, really. Did I say it all? Yeah, a couple dozen people Isaac Cappy's name represents. And so does every name in the story that you guys are living right now, which is why one of the really popular things that's going to get Inksnay Amscrade off of YouTube is these jackasses that are encouraging people to commit suicide, or the ones actually gang stalking them into committing suicide or murder, or just telling somebody that somebody's dead when you steal their identity. Yeah, no, I think I've said enough. Okay. Oh, religion, everybody's favorite. The indecent, forgotten parts of the Bible. Holy relics, Jesus' foreskin. Is that why there's the dudes online that say they can regrow their foreskin? Huh, how about that? Bad popes and Vatican bordellos. The unholy crusades. The profit motive behind the Inquisition. And that Trump talking about witch hunts and everybody else talking about witch hunts. Well, you know what that is that's hysteria. That's when people make up stories and play telephone and don't get the message right. That's a witch hunt. More intolerance. Exactly what I've experienced. The more truth I bring, the more it shatters people's reality. Give me a break. That's bullshit. You just want somebody to blame, you know? Okay. Odd cults, castration, flagellation, and early withdrawal. You know, that's the pull out method. Talk about ignorant. Seducing the faithful. Divine catch all. Science. Wrongly credited inventions. Right, right, right. Just like here, people are inventing ideas and not getting them right. I mean, it's their own IQ test. I just sit back and laugh. Scientific genius, commercial dunce. Naked baseball and the birth of motion pictures. Secret lives of the scientist. Stillness of prizes. Darwin, no rush to publish. Sex, cast a giant shadow, penis size. Well, C.W. Channer claimed he had a 44.5-inch penis. Isn't that something? I still gotta laugh at that. Okay. Sexual accidents lost and found. American prostitution, red, white, and very blue. They probably mean the blue avians. Cunning tips from forgotten love manuals. Probably the Kama Sutra, right? Early psychiatric explores the first deviance. That's that woman. The challenges of masturbation. A lot of people like to sell and play with sexual toys, which is always tragic. I mean, can you imagine if somebody used dildos? Really? I mean, people have no couth. Early psychiatry, yeah. Okay, the challenges of masturbation. Glass objects are never good. Somebody was talking about that the other day. It's like, wow, you're genius. The sexual side of slavery. Painful fetishes and erotica. Napoleon, Lincoln, and others. World history. Defending democracy in ancient Athens. If I ruled the world. Witches, religious martyrs, sexual athletes. Marie Antoinette. Marie Antoinette's dog of a lover. Ugh. Spies with a twist. Chivalry, a knight on errands. Snapshots of the Nazis. And last but not least, American history. Explorers don't need a welcome mat. New England witches were also men and dogs. 1692. Scalping the Indians. Unsung American pirates helped win the Revolutionary War. Presidential sex scandals. Civil War. Seceding from conventional wisdom. Racist relations. The Not So Wild West. From the Annals of American Journalism. Respinning, two notorious scandals, and parting shots. Let me see if there's some bigger pictures in the back. Here's the 16th century allegory shows Amerigo Vespucci with an Indian maiden representing America. Her nudity helped spur immigration. Her hammock spawned knockoffs worldwide. I guess this is where a hammock comes from. Look at that. Pretty cool. Okay. Well, I think that was a productive evening. We've got some did you knows in the back, and then that'll be it. Did you know that in the original story of Goldilocks, the bears torture and kill their impolite visitor? Did you know that Pope Leo the 13th appeared in an advertisement for cocaine-laced wine in the 1880s? Did you know that people didn't eat with forks until the 1700s? Did you know that Sir Isaac Newton's famous humble pie quote, "If I had seen further, it is by standing on the shoulders of giants," was actually written to a dwarf scientist named Robert Hooke and clearly meant as an insult? Did you know that Thomas Edison secretly helped develop the electric chair in a scheme to have the lethal machine named after his arch rival, George Westinghouse? Did you know that the first pediatric guide written in the United States recommended that expectant mothers breastfeed puppies? Right there. Right there in black and white and red. Pretty gross. Okay. Did you know that for 2 centuries, French scientists obsessively experimented on freshly decapitated heads in an effort to discover whether the bodiless brain still functioned? And did you know that Cleopatra was ugly as sin? Ugly as sin. All right, that's great. What a crazy thing. Ethan's got a lot to say tonight. This is the most nebulous business plan. Can I invest in her filibuster techniques? I guess you'd have to call 8675309, Ethan. There's Beelzebub's tales to his grandson. Boycott Apple, flex on China. Well, you know that I've got an Apple computer, and Apple can't fix it because you know who, with the bad attitude, put a back door in my team viewer. Oh, yeah, back in summer of 2016. So, see, the whole time this has been happening, the good guys and the bad guys have been watching, kind of like dead DeFango, Mr. Elusive Man. You know, it's amazing. He let the beans out that there was this big server sitting all alone, unprotected somewhere on the web. We'll say the dark web, I guess. And that people were just going there and taking things. And there's thousands of people's identities. That was the cheddar and the trap, my friends. I didn't know nothing about it, but when I hear these things, See, that's what we got taught to do with our education. We're supposed to be able to put things together and go, duh, this must be what's going on. But the whole China hubbub, what about the new Apple factory here in Texas? I mean, that's a crock of crapola too, right? I mean, how are the computers going to run our existence if they're always messing up and so easy to hack by such a group of douchebags? And then you got the three-letter agencies all sitting back, even though they're all guilty too. I don't mean each individual, I mean each faction. And they're going, oh my gosh, look at this, ah ha ha, da da da, you know, whatever, bets and the whole 9 yards. We better be able to prove we can get along without trying to kill the messenger. And oh yeah, I am a messenger. I'm not saying I'm the only one, but I've been very, very accurate and they know it. So I get why everybody doesn't want me around. But y'all ain't the boss of it. Nobody gets a vote. There's not enough hackers in China to stop what has been going on behind the scenes for a long time now. Okay. Every corporation, here again, has been infiltrated. And I have a story, Ethan, so you make sure you come back and see me when we go over the Scrooge story and what was told to me over 4 years ago about what they were going to do behind the scenes. And sure as hell, I'll bring evidence. I mean, it's going to come through an artist's story of his personal life, but it'll make sense. I promise you that. But here's the good news. They know who's who. So here again, when the clock strikes 12 or things flip on a dime, you better believe that every SOB running a corporation at that point will have already been verified to not be a psychopath. Whoever ran it before be gone. Poof. Gone. You think it can't happen? Well, then you're part of the problem. This is a time where things are happening that have never happened in the existence of the flippin' world. And we've proved that with the whole flattening of the globe and the whole fiber optic and the whole global connection, which got fucked up these last 20 years. Good grief. Ethan Ross says, Ethan Land. I stole the the Declaration of Hempstead. Right. Exactly. And all these countries they're making up. I mean, I used to not know Abu Dhabi was a real place. I really thought Abu Dhabi was just like a toss phrase for any foreign place that you didn't know where the hell it was. We called it Abu Dhabi, for real. But yeah, it's great. Think about all the names that are playing out, too. It's funny as shit, isn't it? If they did not laugh, it would not be the... Do I say a Dow? That has always fascinated me, Ethan, because I had a friend that was very important in this story. And I can tell a story about that sometime, too. Haven't talked much about it. But he practiced the Tao, or the TAO. I hope I said it right. He was a really interesting guy. And no, we didn't have sex. We were really good friends. And He took me to my sophomore homecoming. REKT. I don't know what that is. If you're here, you type out what the heck that means and I can learn something. I do really appreciate learning things. Baron Trump Time Traveling in Russia is a book. Ah, yes, but is it a nonfiction book, my friend? Because I bring nonfiction books. I'm so tired of all the bullshit being built around one grain of truth. Like my Graham would have said, it's asinine. I don't know. But, Baron, take it back to the book. I hope that's what you're doing. C.W. Barron. mm. Hello, Al, Italy, Mussolini, and Brazil, huh? Every daggum country got screwed. And the way I see it is at any given time period, they would go opposite fields. You know what I mean? Screw with somebody over on the other side of the earth and then over wherever at the same time. And that's why there is global slavery, because every color and caste and race of people have been slaves to another group of people. White people were whored out for slaves too. And they want to talk about white privilege. I mean, I want to knock a brother out. Somebody says that shit to me. I'm whitewashed, blacklisted, living in a town where I got no rights. Oh, but that's the whole world. See, can't get upset about it. We're supposed to say nothing and get cold and be mean to other people because surely that's the adult thing to do. Do you make websites? Did you know I came on the computer completely computer illiterate and they make fun of me? But I do these things that they can't figure out how I do. And I don't know how I did it because I wasn't into the computer. But, I was forced to come online for a variety of reasons. And if you're going to force me to do it, I mean, like, poke me until I give in. And then I get here and get treated like shit. Well, now you know why I never wanted to engage in this. I would have had no idea how comedic the whole trip would be and aggravating. Both sides. Welcome, Vape King. Wicked Bella, wow. I know, it is. It is. It's a lot of wow. Okay, so remember the flat earth story. It's from a real book. I mean, like, real information. And still, these religious wars are just driving me. I mean, I really feel bad for people that got indoctrinated into church and had all those issues because people were just tripped out, man. But nobody can say our creator is at fault for any of this horse shit. I mean, for real? I don't think so. But the serious thing about what you said, Earth is flat, LOL. I'll be the roundabout. Nice song. Catching the swirling wind, the sailor sees the rim of the land. We'll never forget, Ethan, the final farewell talks about all these things and more. Walt Whitman or some Walt guy sang it, but of course, I think Elvis sang it better. A lot of people like to argue about that. Not that's not my game, man. But the final farewell is a very fitting example of a great song that you might want to put in your story too. Oh man, held for review. You were doing so good. I bet the emojis are bot food. That's why all these phonies jerk off their keyboards when they type. Hey, but remember, they're going to come for you for making them about emojis unless you go buy some from the dollar store. So, see, I think that that's more conspiracy stuff. I think that they're making shit up to see how many ding dongs that believe it. So when I bring it up, I say it in jest. Kind of like how people can't cuss online. And I mean, you heard our keynote speaker, rip the heck out of some words. And then you got CW Ding Dong. I mean, he tells people they can't cuss in his chat while he does his show and cusses. I mean, they've all been psyops. And of course, there's nothing wrong with an adult. I'm an adult that doesn't make videos that are geared for children. I'm speaking about adult matters that a lot of adults can't handle. So the whole thing with the kids, they have a lot of things, on regular TV that aren't geared for kids. The kids watch all the time. So here again, we got a lot of IQ tests going on right now. And there's human beings behind this. It's not all bots that have evolved into figuring this shit out. People been watching behind the scenes. But yeah, what a bunch of nice emojis. We saw a movie last night. And first the woman made some cannabis drink to help relax the guy, the boyfriend of her daughter. Okay. But what was really funny, it was a really uppity East Coast family that was all very secretly deviant, but they played very, keeping up with the Joneses and pure class. Well, anyhow, mom made some mushroom drink, and the dude drank it thinking it was just cannabis, right? But his soon-to-be father-in-law was doing a speech, and it's in a boating town, and he had a like the ship. We're going back to the ship theme. So he had one of them hats you'd wear, like so you don't get soaked with the big waves that are going to hit you in the head. And he had the big raincoat on, right? Well, the dude was tripping on the mushroom drink, and he almost harpooned his soon-to-be father-in-law because he was tripping on mushrooms, and he's holding the spear, and the whole family's yelling, "No, no, don't do it." It was a great movie. I have no idea what the name was, but it deserved to be brought up. LOL, a desert ray is a good metaphor for a psychic vampire. You ain't kidding. And see, that's where it really gets like another crank in a twisted chain. So all these people, that proclaim there's nothing worse than animal abuse. And, they like to make all this emotion about these animals, like on TV when they, look like they've been shivering and they're locked in a cage. What the hell? Why can't you rescue them if you're really there making the commercial? It's all bullshit. But the vampire thing, these people are sucking the life out of their animals, man. It's weird. And then they act like they can't do it as easy with their friends. But from what I see in these communities, that's exactly what they're doing. And then they kind of mush it together and do it to everybody they're involved with. And I don't see why these vampires think that they're going to be chilling with us. I mean, I hope you know about Bubble Boy, the movie. There's PX41 and PX42. Whichever one fills up first, you got to go to the other one. But there's not going to be any room for liars, snakes, weasels, worms, vampires, or boogie boogie. This is childish. And believe me, they got all our numbers. I mean, I'm just saying. Oh, can I show your messages? I mean, I'm not afraid. India, Ethan, you are too clever. India was first. It was all done long ago. Flippin' colonization, LOL. Hey, I agree. I mean, but they think we're too stupid to put it together, and then they still have plausible deniability and act like we're going to still follow all that. Short bus. Maybe you know this one from being a kid. You drive me crazy. Not you, Ethan. I'm just saying, I'm just being funny and saying, how could people be so fucking stupid? And here again, we already know this whole hullabaloo in Washington is nothing more than a play production. This has all been orchestrated by something greater than you and I. I think it's cool. I know everybody's scared because they don't get to put their vote in. Well, see, they're traumatized because their vote never counted. I mean, just look at it simple. Because it is funny as shit. But it's really not funny. It's not the good kind of funny. It's like there's too many shrinks around the pill cabinet. You know what I mean? They just want to get high. Nice. Let's see. Already leaving Facebook sick. But look, I quit Facebook months ago. And, it was so funny. They got so pissed, like Chant-a-Lot, making up the fake story. And he doesn't have a Facebook account. And yakety squack and the secret page and all the crap. And all my pages have been cloned. I mean, I got lunatics. I got Stanley Kubrick on my Prophetic Destiny in Missouri page giving people the evil face. I figured out whose face it was. It was too common because it was a real face and it was a close-up, but put it together. Hamlet. I don't know where BitChute is. I don't know where Parachute is. I'm not dicking around on these platforms, man. I just came in to do it a job. I mean, I have no clue how much more this is going to get drug out and how much more I'm going to be tortured, you know? But I will always be loyal to the mission. That's all I can say. Evil friends, strontium, yes, strontium, strontium. Okay. Choke is about Jesus' foreskin. See, I'm not sure what that means. I don't know if I'm naive. It's like choking, like choking they didn't say choking the monkey, but you know what I mean. Choking the chain, foreskin, huh? Yeah, yeah. Guarantee you Charles Darwin was a Mason. There's so many flavors of it in there. But the way I got the memo was the original people who built all the great buildings were the Tartarians. They love to make fun of them. And then some kind of thing happened. And as the Tartary people were destroyed with whatever happened, the Masons kind of infiltrated it, came into it. So when we were talking about the pyramid of power and how psychopaths infiltrate it, maybe that's what happened. I'll tell you though, when I first came to this cockamamie town, there was a really cool dude. He was a building inspector. And I mean, I don't need to say his name to prove he's a real person. I'll just leave it that this is always funny because it's like saying to somebody, you're crabby. It's like a name like that. But anyhow, one time, and he was in the building that we rented an apartment in, and he knew it wasn't up to code, and he cared about us because I was led to believe it was coming up to code. I'd been lied to, like normal. And it was important that the place was safe. So he was there doing what he needed to do. And he wanted to read my palm and my daughter's palm. And I have 3 kids. And he's looking at my hand, in here. And he says, you have 4 children. And I said, oh, hell no. I got 3. And he goes, you have a 4th child that will be different than the other 3. And I was like, I had a miscarriage. I mean, in between the first and second one. And he said, no, I'm not talking about that. So, anyhow, that's funny shit, isn't it? Especially with all the backstories that are involved in this hoopla that's been put on by powerful forces, good and bad. Dildos aren't that bad compared to people. See, man, why can't we just have exceptional, loving relationships with people? I don't know. What's the magic headbands for? Linux. All I know about Linux is somebody that I trusted. I mean, I'm just a goofball, right? Too trusting. But said that Linux was the only system that couldn't be this or that. But in the end, why would somebody that could build a Linux system pay somebody that's got multiple aliases to broadcast on their free YouTube channel? See, I don't get it. I think it's kind of all horse shit. Let's see. People think only a handful of people, or only Jesus, have ascended, but the skies are filled with divine beings. Yeah, kind of like slay can mean kill somebody or love them. That's exactly right. Yes, Tao. Thank you. Should have got down with the Tao. Man, this guy was such a trip. My friend that practiced the Tao, and he was always very secretive, and he was searching for a huge piece of himself. He was adopted. He loved his adopted parents, but he always had questions, about who his real or his biological mom and dad were. And he found out about his dad, probably, I would say, after he was 21. And the last time we talked, believe it or not, he said that he didn't know what I was going to do, but I was going to do something that would bring an end to this time. And I got really pissed because, I've been terrified of all this shit my whole life. I saw it when I was a little kid. But what he meant was bring an end to this false system. He didn't mean I'm so fucked up I'm going to destroy the world. And see, here again, I've learned a lot about coded messages. And I know I entered things into the system that had never been entered before. Well, that's because it's my story, dadgummit. Each one of us truly does do that, but I think a lot of people forgot that they were born to do that. Oh, REKT is wrecked. Thank you. Beaten in a gaming sense, usually. And right. And this whole internet is more reckoned to a video game than anybody knew. Even the coders. I guess you get too far in, it's hard to see the light, or it's hard to remember. Or you fake it till you make it, or believe your own bullshit. That's why we've lost all our jobs. Is because the web bots are spinning out of control like a bad Arnold Schwarzenegger movie. People love the movies, but they really don't like it when it really happens, do they? Next thing you know, they start getting crabby. Right. When was it written? Probably. When was the Tao written, or when was the video game sequence written? And of course, the actor mask. Man, can I even say amen without somebody wanting to start screaming rah at me? You know, uh, dollar store emojis. No shit. Buy them by the 12 pack or something, right? The problem is always really energy, not what you're doing. Honestly. Honesty makes liars break down. Yeah, it does. Like short circuits their wiring, don't it? I actually don't respect the way pets are treated in society today. Yeah. Um, there's always stray dogs. I mean, there's somebody's pets, they run away, or people can't afford them. There's like a whole refugee crisis for animals too. Well, anyhow, people are making fake calls on us, and so the other day we had a conversation with someone that had blocked our driveway, an alleged cop that's saying, somebody called him about the dogs at 12 Royal. I didn't just dox myself. Everybody knows my address, damn it. But you get what I'm saying. Oh, and somebody else is impersonating me. He's got my address too, but no big deal. So, like he told him, my dogs are inside and they've been inside. Well, that goes on for a few minutes, but that's irrelevant. The other day, when Joe was outside, our buddy Robert, the guy that built the parapet on the easement behind the dumpster, oh my gosh. Well, anyhow, he comes out and he starts saying, Joe, you need to get this dog over here. It's not our dog. I mean, just because we've got some compassion for a living animal. But anyhow, we're not taking nobody, no more dogs. No. So anyhow, hopefully this little black girl got her mama to let that dog go home with her. But it can't be out standing in Florissant Road going, give me a ride, thumb out, no opposable thumbs, right? These dogs are going to the pizza joint because there's a dumpster there. And then there's a fish and chicken joint, and there's a dumpster there. And if they're starving because their own families can't feed them no more, because everybody's this close to being homeless, and half of the people online are homeless scammers. Damn it. Ain't that a crock of shit? Go peddle somebody's internet and mine bitcoins with somebody who's got a good bandwidth. Oh yeah, they got them all. Behind the scenes, that's what all this crap is about. It sure ain't about the horse shit they're telling on the surface, like I said. But yeah, pathetic. Using animals to dress up in clothes and call it emotional. It's their emotional boo boo kitty dog. Give me a break. Mm. It's supposed to be an equal exchange of information and energy. So, if you're going to be loving, you would expect that same kind of love back, not something polar opposite to zap somebody. And for these fools that are running out of energy because they don't have any more feeds, that's why they're all dropping dime on each other, isn't it? Right, right. Another being shouldn't be anybody's emotional crutch or victim either. Absolutely correct. You may share anything I said, but probably Google it to make sure it's not a quote. Yeah. With as proficient as you are with your speaking, I wouldn't begin to know where to start with a Google search. Now, tomorrow, I got my little computer friend coming over, and she's very into the crime, drama, mystery crap, high school kid, but she's the one that's found all of the things on who has stolen my identity. So, um, I got it. I got it. I see it. I can have her play with that tomorrow. I loved that game when I was a kid. Do, 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 do. I got you. So I'm just going to keep this one hid since it's our little secret, Ethan. We'll play with that tomorrow. I'll leave it. I'm not disallowing it. I'm just playing with our friends. Kelly stalked you for CW on Facebook, as far as I know. Oh my gosh, they are so sketchy. But see, you got to remember CW Ding Dong and Mel V CCN were in the original Hive, the original cult, the original Krapinski. See, now Kelly, the reason he brought her in is because when they were saying that I was his booty call, they were implying that I would want to do him. I mean, that's creepy. And so then they brought in the whole scenario of him having a girlfriend. But remember, that's an alias. And the whole thing, see, they're backpedaling. All of the YouTube that got involved with all of these idiots are now backpedaling. And they're all involved and they're all interconnected. And like I told you, each one of these bitches play more than one person with their dumbass voice that they're wasting. But it was a Ponzi scheme. They put in money. They had backers. Definitely a Politico agenda. I mean, so many things. And I speak about a lot of different things that gets under people's skin because it's true. And they don't want to hear it because they've been over conditioned and underloved. And yeah, but Kelly and CW, they're not even a couple. Kelly's a carpet muncher. Give me a break. I mean, they are not a sexual couple. I can't believe people are so confused. And then they want to lie about it. See, that's why your comment about the DILDO would be safer than a human. So I get what you were saying because they lie. And I mean, that's just the most ignorant, disgusting, profane thing to do is lie to somebody and want to shove it up their ass. Uh-uh. Uh-uh. That's why Channer doesn't have a dick in his original form. You heard that, right? He's a lizard, one leg, no dick. He was supposed to have a leather notebook to write down what he forgot. The first time he channeled for real, and they never talked about it again. How does all the Chantarians never get an answer or never want to know that? They follow him blindly. Kind of like our girl in the beginning, Angie. Why is she following Katie, Ms. Wonderful, Mel V. What's the other bitch's name? Jules a Thought. I mean, Jay, gum. Oh, and now she's 7 grains of rice or something, too. Not the psychologist or the doctor. We're talking about the cheeseburger girl. I mean, it just is really stupid. And see, they're not even in apartments. Do you ever notice as you see these people getting relocated, they wind up in these little rooms with nothing on the walls? They're like little green screen rooms, man. This is all part of free cable or something weird. And these guys I call number one are surely behind it. I've said that. You can help me diversify my online presence if you'd like. Oh, YouTube removes too many videos. I can't trust them. I hear you, Ethan. Oh, Choke is a book by Pala Fight Club. I don't think girls like, that bloody beat Fight Club. You mean the cages and people dying and fighting? And I think I know what you're talking about. Thank you for letting me know. How long ago did you hear about Tartaria? I thought it was pretty recent. Well, the Tartaria thing, I would say that I came across John Levy, Levi, and it would have to be at least a year and a half, if not 2 years. The reason why is because whomever has been working with me behind the scenes, teaching me, showed, illustrated, enlightened me to being able to break down images that are not real versus the ones that are. So I'm going to say a year and a half to 2 years. Of a discovery. Yeah. And that is what's beautiful about this, no matter how frustrating. You guys help me discover a lot. I mean, you're bringing me specific messages. Why would I not acknowledge that and say thank you and mean it? It's like if you give a monkey a dead phone and a charger, maybe he'll strangle many monkeys. That's exactly what's going on. Right. Why would you orchestrate the most important strategy without double and triple checking to make sure that you lasso the entirety of the group? I mean, if you miss a few, they don't really have anyone to run to. You would also hope a few could be rehabilitated. Here again, it's not my judgment call. And one day, when I meet people face to face and they look me in the eye and tell me what the hell's going on, well, then, we'll be at a better place. Trump Russia is the when it was written. Thank you. Baron Trump Russia is the when was it written. Gotcha. That's isn't that like one of those things that they predicted over a century ago? Not sure, but I know I know we can find that information. How interesting is that, Ethan? Well, if that's true, then you're O negative. It's very poetic. And taking a knee is a noble thing. Does that mean, that's a story about a eunuch? Wow. I really, I really find it all fascinating. Nice conversation. If there's at least one person that will engage someone honestly, it should be more worth it than if there were a whole bunch of people and it was all just bullshit. Somebody blowing sunshine up your ass or something. So, thanks, Ethan. I appreciate our journey tonight. Oh, you're talking about CW douchebag, huh? Yeah. It really is creepy. I get it. You weren't talking about you were talking about CW. I'm sorry. But look, see, it could have been the eunuch story for real because when I first came online, it was the weirdest thing. There was a dude, he was heavy set, he was run out of the church as a young man for being gay. And he started a church like, where gay people would be welcome. And he gave a sermon on why God loved the eunuchs. And that's why I brought that up. And then, you think about your incarnations um, through time and space and different forms and things like that. So that's where that's funny. So, Chatter taking an arrow to the knee. I find that hard to believe because he really, really has fought me the whole way. So I can't imagine him ever humbling himself to apologize and get down on his knee, even if somebody did shoot it with an arrow. He can't come down off his lie, just like all these goofballs that are associated with him. If they come down from their lie, man, it's all over. I mean, they think they can stretch it out, but of course, people like to play like they're already dead or they're going to be dead tomorrow or they're going to go take their dead friend Fred to, out and about. It should be a crime to disrespect life. Period. Thank you. I don't know about noble. I think about him being a literal stick up the ass judge or a Sadducee or a Pharisee or, one of those isms. I'm afraid he doesn't know. It's shattering, just tragic. Noble. Hmm. Maybe his worm is noble. Maybe the parasite that possesses him is of nobility. I still can't believe he doesn't have merch. Right. Yeah, it's just a really interesting perspective. Thank you so much, Ethan. I really did have a great time with you tonight. And I think I'm going to get off the phone, man. It's 2:23. Yeah, I don't see the note. I know. I know. Everybody could be great. Maybe with good energy like yours going out there in the universe. Mhm. That he could flip on that dime because deep down he knew the truth. Wouldn't that be cool? I know he's terrified of a mind wipe, but what if they could suck all the negativity off him? I mean, or anybody. And I mean, myself, even as far as I've been pushed with that daggum Colin Rosati of the sunny side, I honestly don't hate anybody. I mean, because all it would do is suck energy out of me. I'm selfish. I don't want to hate anybody. And it really helps me bringing these things forward because it'll stick around. I'm not worried. I agree. All right. I'm out. And we will talk soon. I hope I get to keep this book for at least a few weeks. I mean, we only read one entry. I've been looking at it quite a bit, taking notes, figuring out what needs to go with what. All right, we're out of here. Have a great night. And here again from Sophia's Emporium, it's me, Suze, saying, man, you know, aloha, right? And peace. Talk soon.